What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. This morning was pretty hectic. Finally had to move the black BMW out of hibernation to get my car in here for the first time ever. There is supposed to be crazy winds. We're talking upwards of like 30 miles an hour today, and it's gonna start in a couple hours. That's the reason we didn't want to do it outside, because if it gets really windy, the canopy just starts flapping like crazy. We don't need that, especially on the video. It's just gonna sound terrible. Ooh. Let's see if I can carry these with one hand without revealing my address. So, you guys have been following the IS build for quite a while. You guys will know that I did end up ordering front control arms for the IS300, which was taking quite a while because they had to be made from Canada, then shipped to our distributor, TF Works, and then shipped to me. So these are what they look like, and they look so sick. You can see the craftsmanship and the quality is one of the best I've seen in suspension products. It is all hand TIG welded. They don't do it by a machine. They all do it handmade.
They don't do it by foot. They do it by hand.
They might. What these are supposed to correct is first the geometry of the suspension when it comes to the control arm ball joint, because on lowered vehicles the whole geometry changes of the car. This thing is supposed to fix that, and on top of that we do need more camber, so this is going to add more camber to the car. And I'm hoping, they do specify around -4 degrees max, but since I already have -4 on my car right now with the stock eccentric bolts, I'm hoping to get 8. So I'm probably just going to leave them maxed out as they are. And when I put on Martin's control arms, I told you guys it does adjust differently than these kind, because this one doesn't adjust from the ball joint. They adjust from the actual point that bolts onto the frame. So you can see it's just a safer way than just doing the ball joint and tightening it with Allen screws. So we're just gonna leave them maxed out, and hopefully it'll be all good. But this isn't the only thing that's gonna help your suspension. All you IS300 guys that are lowered, you guys know a lot of us suffer from control arm slap, and that pretty much happens when your car is so low that the control arm is angled too high up excessively and too close to the strut tower, so it slaps on pretty much every bump. So the best way, instead of cutting out a hole in the strut tower, a huge shout out to Mason. If any of you guys that own an IS don't know who he is, he has an IS300 wagon and it's really sick, and it is, I believe, 1J swap. He told me that the best way is to actually get roll center adjusters and also cut your spindles. If you have a guy who can do it the right way, he should be able to do it and have no real issues with it. And this also helps fix the geometry of the suspension. You can see right here, Autosport Engineering shows pictures of how it is before and how it is after. So what you do is you put these on. This will lower your car 20 millimeters, or the actual thickness of the roll center adjuster, and then you cut the spindle the same size as the roll center adjusters. So that's the proper way to do it. I'm hoping it's going to fix any slap, and it's going to make the car ride way better. You can see exactly where it was hitting right there, and you can also see when we did the coilovers.
Why didn't you tighten it?
Why did you do that? That was your side.
No?
That was our side.
I always get right side.
That's a lie.
Wait, which right are we looking at?
At this point, we're pretty much removing everything that connects to the spindle. So we're gonna be removing the speed sensor, we're gonna be removing the caliper, the rotor, and then the 2 ball joints that are underneath right here. We're gonna be removing those as well. So we're gonna be trying to remove all those. The caliper is off. Actually, surprisingly, I thought the rotor was gonna be hard.
Hanging or what?
Everything just looks pretty straightforward now. I wasn't using my brain. We could have just turned the wheel to make it a lot easier to loosen everything, but this gives you a way better view of what we're dealing with now. So we have one nut right here with the cotter pin, and then we have one on the bottom. There you go. That's the best way to do it, guys. Seriously, so you don't mess up any components. Bottom one is a 19, and I'm probably going to be having to hold it as well. Actually, no, the outer tie rod's gone, so you can't hold it.
Oh, I almost shit myself. Hold on.
Oh shit.
You guys gotta get one of these. Just
no, you didn't need a break. We have a breaker bar, Martin.
Yeah, but this is so convenient right there.
So what we have to do is hit that base right there, and that would be the best way to get it out.
I think you can pull up. Yeah.
We got it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know what I just realized?
Huh?
We could have just pulled up the whole time.
No.
Yeah. So we could have just probably moved it up really hard.
We got it off though.
All right, next.
Alright, so I don't think we're gonna show you the next side because it's pretty much gonna be the same exact thing, just opposite.
What I think we should do, let's try to do one side first completely just to understand what we're getting ourselves into, so when we do the other side it's really quick. Like I said, we'll talk about spindles and cutting and everything later when we go with Danny. So we'll just keep this to the side. And right now would probably be, I would say, like a perfect opportunity to do your wheel bearings. I'm not gonna do it though. Looking at the control arm, you can see there's two 14mm bolts. I have a feeling that if you had the stock suspension with the bigger coil, you would not be able to get to those without removing them. But since we do have coilovers, it's gonna make it so much easier. There's so much room behind to actually slide the bolts out. I'll make you break these ones loose, Martin.
What's up, Martin? Last bolt. That was so much easier.
I'm not gonna lie, these are pretty well made. To be able to handle the strut tower slap, normal aluminum ones would just break.
Dude, these are so tiny.
They are. These are the stock ones, and those are...
Oh, they're definitely heavy.
These are heavier?
Yes.
These are the aftermarket ones. Yeah, you can, these are light, these are cast. So you can see the difference in height already. And also, they do have a different angle as well to fix the geometry of a lowered car. Right here you can see side by side it is lower. Let me show you guys a quick view on the bottom. You can see these are hollow inside. I've also heard of people going with an actual OEM setup with a different control arm from a different car. I believe it's probably like a Cressida or something similar in that nature. The passenger side was actually a lot harder than the driver's side because this ball joint did not want to break loose, and by us hitting it so many times and accidentally hitting the rubber, you can see that it did split. So we're gonna have to be buying new lower ball joints, and this tie rod end is leaking as well. I was planning on getting some aftermarket tie rod ends from Battle Virgin, but sadly I can't wait for them. I need them right away. So we're gonna be heading to AutoZone and ordering them. Hopefully we can get them at least by today or either tomorrow. We're gonna be throwing these spindles in Martin's Altima, and we're gonna be heading to AutoZone to try to find all the parts we need. We picked up the lower ball joints, but we did order the outer tie rod ends. They're just not in stock. These should be good enough for now. We can get the car running and driving. I'll probably put everything in, including the messed up outer tie rod end, just to kind of set it how I want it and get an idea of how low it's going to be and adjust it from there. Did that scare you?
I was wondering who pulled up. I was like, what's that noise?
What's up, bro? Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. These are probably my favorite taillights. Yeah. Is that weird?
They're just the stock
That's what
ones.
I'm saying. Because like they're the stock FRS ones. Because the 86 has a different style where it's like clear and the LEDs. And I told Eden, I'm like, bro, I like it so simple where I just don't care. I let you leave it.
These were clear. These are just the.
Don't they have red ones though? Right?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, so you're wrapping?
That red.
Nice.
Yeah, but I messed it up. I didn't clean the freaking.
The edges, huh?
I didn't
Dude,
clean the edge right there.
prep is the best, like,
Then,
you know?
So now I gotta redo it, but.
These are Buddy Club arms?
Yeah.
Dude, these are nice. So what's the difference between these and the regular ones?
It's the same. It's the same arm. They just put polyurethane bushings, and then they're.
Oh, okay. So it's like a sport setup.
Ball joint, yeah. And that ball joint's like I think an inch taller, so it's like fixes some like
Geometry for lowered cars. That's dope. I guess you cut it around here. I don't know exactly. I'll probably cut it like right here, maybe.
Yeah.
The roll center adjusters is literally a spacer between these two.
This 20 mil.
Yeah.
The plate will be here. Once you cut it and everything, we'll just have to find like a 20 mil standoff, and then we'll just basically space. So say the plate's here, we cut it, it's 20 mil shorter. We'll put a little spacer, 20 mil spacer in there, and then it'll be good. And this whole angle will be exact. Oh, and then we'll probably put something here
to hold that.
Just to hold, so
too.
you know, like it doesn't get all twisted. Maybe something here, so you know it's straight. But yeah,
so
be easy. It's funny because that fixture that
the PBM has.
that was like exactly what I was thinking of doing. Like they made it obviously like all water jet, like nice pieces, but
it's gonna be sick though. I mean, it's gonna be like a one-time use thing. But what he's talking about with PBM is you'll probably have a screenshot right here. That's pretty much what we're going based off of, because I was thinking about reinforcing it and seeing like if it's just safe just to weld it, but I see that they have actual like steel pieces, like steel plates. So with that design, it's probably gonna be a lot safer, especially because I drive it every day and it's gonna be handling abuse. So we'll probably have to buy a little bracket or little plates. I don't know what I'm looking at, Danny.
I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Right here, look. I got it all figured out.
Are you down to weld on wood?
So much wood.
Weld the wood.
I'm done.
Our biggest issue right now is finding the actual piece that we can set the spindle on and pretty much create the fixture off of, because we're trying to find sheet metal. The only things that we bought was these 2 pieces of metal, and then we bought some nuts and bolts. I don't know where they're at. No, they're over there. This is the piece that we're gonna try to use, which is steel, and it's very thick. So hopefully you could drill in it.
Yeah, if we could drill through it, then we could put them both on
one piece.
And yeah.
When we mean fixture, we mean something to hold it exactly the way it is. So when we cut it, it's gonna keep that exact dimension, shape, length, everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it doesn't.
Yeah, because if when you re-weld this, if it's off like you need, it's gonna be off.
And your suspension's gonna be off, and yeah, you're gonna run into a bunch of issues.
Especially if like all your other arms are non-adjustable.
Yeah.
Then you're really gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
But like, if you have all adjustable arms, then you could adjust it with the alignment if it's not right. But if it's like stock arms and you screw this up, yeah.
And that's like, you could think of it as like when you get in a car accident, sometimes we can't fix alignments just because it's something's bent and you can't even tell. You would have to measure like the distance between it, like, and go with the same specs. These things are toasted. Martin, it was your fault. That's the one you did.
If you had a better car, you wouldn't have this problem.
God.
I've seen this shit. It'll hurt your wrist.
The most important part, and that's cutting the actual knuckle itself, or the spindle. So he said he's just gonna cut this amount because that's literally about like 20 millimeters, because we did grind down one of the spacers that we had to kind of measure, because he started off as an inch and he just kept grinding down till it was 20 millimeters. So we're gonna be grinding that down. And this is the fixture he built to hold everything in place, so when he welds it back on, it's not gonna be all It worked.
So it's like the distance. They call that kerf.
Yeah.
It's like the distance, the amount that the blade of material removes.
Really?
So, yeah. Because you're like cutting off all the sparks go everywhere. That's like material is shaving off. So you have to like take that into
consideration
too.
So it's gonna be 20 mil.
What?
It will be 20 mil after you cut off the other side.
Yeah, it should. And then like I'm probably even gonna cut it a little short, and then just get it until basically it's tight, you know?
Yeah.
So it should be right at about the end of it. But even if there's like a gap, it'd be better to have a little bit of gap because you could weld all in there, you know? And then put the plates on the side. We could just shave off little by little.
Yeah, of course.
So
this is a very serious part of the process, because you mess it up, you can have a lot of consequences, and especially the welding. So I would not recommend you guys doing this unless you guys are a good welder and know what you're doing.
Hey Daniel, what's FRS compression? This guy said 14 to 1.
0 to 1. What if I just clear coat that so it looks like titanium? So obviously we have to reinforce it by putting some like piece of metal. I'm pretty sure that would work, dude. Or is it too thick? Just fucking weld around it. It's cooling off right now, but look how nice that looks. Laying dimes like usual. I want to keep it like this. I was planning on painting it, but what I might do is just paint it with some clear coat once it cools down, and just leave it with that look, and probably just degrease all this stuff off because it looks pretty nasty down there. But up here it looks pretty clean. But I just love the way the raw welds look instead of powder coating it or painting it.
A cage. It would be a good idea to get like a half cage for the back seats, and then make it so when I want to get like door cards and then gussets right here, because you have to take off the windshield to do that.
yeah.
Would it be? Could you do a half cage and then have someone add on to it later?
We're back at the house, and we already put on one knuckle while Danny was welding the other one. Huge shout out to Danny. Part of the gang is here. We have Stephanie. We have Eden, and we have Martin. This piece is a lower ball joint that we're replacing with a new ball joint because it was leaking on the other side. Perfect. And then it's gonna go in here. This way. Just like that. These control arms look so good. You can't really see the true color of them on camera. It's more bluish. Now time to throw this bad boy in.
Ooh, like that, huh?
Yeah, like that, exactly. Perfect. Push it in. Don't be scared, Ryan. Hey bro, are you okay? The amount of fucking torque he's putting down on this nut is more than the torque on your FRS, dude.
Could you believe this guy? Like, buys a 2JZ non-turbo, buys a fucking
has
IC100
the slowest boxer motor that maxes out at 250
Actually, no,
wheel.
I think the Forester has a 160 horsepower.
This fool acts like we know what a Forester is, fool. I don't think this is safe, G.
Fool, there's a monster in here.
There's a what?
There's a monster. What the fuck?
Probably not even gonna be low, it's probably gonna be higher. Oh, we can't drive it, we have to adjust the key. Oh shit.
Why like that?
Oh, what do you mean I can't turn the wheel?
Oh shit. It did.
That shit looks so hard though. Look at that shit, bro.
Fender to lip, bro.
Oh my god, it is fender to lip. It's like perfect maxed out camber. I can't turn the wheel though. It's not possible. I want to turn the wheel. Look.
Alright, try it.
That's so hard. Alright guys, time to adjust it. I would say probably raise it about half an inch. And hopefully I could turn the wheel because it is already pulling the fender. So shouldn't have too much issues once we do that. So time to get the shit done. I'm back. I'm literally sweating like crazy because I kept adjusting it back and forth. One time it'd be too low, one time it would be too high, and I wanted that perfect height where barely clear when I turn the wheel. And this is where I'm at right now, and it's identical on each side. So it is probably about like half an inch lower, and the camber is probably twice as much. You can see it just looks so sick like that. So it's right on the lip, so I shouldn't have any issues because before it would never hit and it poked out way more. So I measured from the actual fender to the wheel and it looks perfect. I was planning on giving you guys an update on the control arms for the IS. I was going to talk to you guys about the alignment specs because I actually did go align it myself at my work. I was going to talk to you about how it rides, if it fixed the control arm slap, but unfortunately something did happen to my car, which I will be talking about in the next video because it's going to take a bit to talk about, and I'd rather do a full video on it than just giving you guys a short little clip because it is something big. But for the time that I did get to drive it, it drove really well. Control arms don't hit at all, so that's so good. It literally feels like a Cadillac when you hit bumps. Like right when you hit a large bump on the freeway, it doesn't just bounce off or bottom out. It like slowly bounces up and down. So that's really cool. The alignment, I did get it to around like -5, and that was before my alignment. So once I got everything dialed in, I kept it around like -4.8 on both sides. What I did notice was that my camber before was only -2. I thought it was -4, but it was only around -2.5 or something like that. So in reality, I only gained, I would say, about -3 degrees of camber. So if you want to go with this setup, you're not going to get as much camber as the Oni, which is the extreme versions, and those go a lot. So you kind of have to pick and choose your poison. Or you could get negative roll center adjusters, which is what I installed, but the negative versions, which actually increase camber as well. You just have to look, do your research, and see what you want to do. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry I didn't get to give you guys a full ending. I know I really want to talk to you guys about what happened, and I want to upload it as soon as possible. I did post on my Instagram. Unfortunately, with everything going on right now, especially with the case being still open, you guys probably have an idea of what's going on just by me saying that. You guys need to just stay updated because I'm going to be dropping a video telling you guys everything that happened, and hopefully everything will be good. But like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you guys on the next one.